Hello again, everyone, and welcome inside. Yes, it is season 3. We're well into it of the Adam Jones podcast. I'm Jerry Coleman. He's a former 5-time All-Star. His name is Adam Jones. And today we have reached episode number 81. AJ will be joined by Orioles pitcher John Means. Catch up with him after, of course, the TJ surgery. And we'll also talk about managers getting ejected. Does that really inspire a team? And also 100 pitches. Why does it seem like that's the magic number where the nerds feel like your arm's going to fall off if you throw more than 100? And we'll talk about the latest class for the Baseball Hall of Fame, which went in this past Sunday, inducted into Cooperstown, and look ahead at next year's potential candidates and a chance to win a $50 gift card from Lido Pizza during Socially Speaking. But as always, we bring in our featured guest. It is so great to catch up. Sponsored by Jimmy's Famous Seafood. He is John Means. John, thanks for taking the time and being with us. And first of all, let's catch up with where you are in your rehab process. For those watching on YouTube, they can see the brace there on the throwing arm. And how you holding up physically and mentally?
Yeah, well, I'm about 7 weeks in, actually 7 weeks today. So I have one more week in the brace. Looking forward to that. And then we can start to do some actual, working out and that sort of thing. I can sleep finally without this thing, which is going to be amazing. I'm going to sleep like a baby, but mentally doing fine. Yeah, it was good to be back with the boys this past weekend against the Rangers. Had a good series against them, so that was good to kind of get back in the clubhouse and be around them. So doing well. Family's doing well too. So
it was great to see you and talk to your wife. It was amazing. The All-Star weekend, getting to talk to you about your love for Baltimore. I just had one question on the injury. I remember being a shortstop and my elbow was sore, and then you get the treatments and all that kind of stuff, and you're down for a couple of days. I didn't get a PRP shot, but what does it feel like when it actually does tear, or like what is that feeling? Because I remember the soreness, but when it tears and you can't actually throw a ball, what is the feeling like? Can you not squeeze? Like what is the tests that they do to determine that the injury is before you get your MRI?
Yeah, that's a good question because it kind of depends on how many surgeries. So on my first one, when I tore it the first time, it was like on a pitch, and I felt it. Like I felt fine up until that pitch, and then it was like, then it got really tight in the forearm. I'm trying to like grip and try to feel my fingers at that point. I didn't get quite the tingly fingers that most guys do. I think a lot of guys get like that shock down through their arm, but just a really tight forearm, and it felt. Every time I threw a curveball, it would just, light up my forearm. And then the second time, it was kind of more gradual. It wasn't like one pitch. And so it was gradually just get worse and worse. It was still kind of in that forearm area, and it would just get tighter and tighter and tighter. And then it eventually how they described it is that like on your second one, usually if you do tear it, you start to tear it in like that flexor pronator area, and then it just grows. And so it just kind of like grows into the tendon. And so it just kind of slowly enters it instead of just being all at once. And that's kind of what I felt. And yeah, it's just kind of tough to grip. It's tough for me, it was like coming up like this really hurt. And so you do that test, you do the resistance test, and I kind of failed all of those the second time.
Well, fast forward, I want to talk about this last week of you. You got to be around the home run derby, and then the All-Star game, and then getting the series with your boys. How fulfilling is that for you mentally? I know you want to be out there, the competitor. We know you would throw a baseball right now if you could. But how is it being back out there with the guys, mixing in, talking, shooting the crap back with them, cheering them, and it was obviously a great series down in Texas.
Yeah, I mean it's so big. I know after my first one, I wanted to be there as much as I possibly could. I think I was there like 7 to 10 game series every month. And that was a lot. And I wanted to make sure, because that's the most important thing, is to be, around the guys, around the game. And it's so much different than watching it on TV, as you know. And then, yeah, it's going back there. And it's not even just like the baseball part of it. It's just being, in the clubhouse, having ridiculous conversations with each other and just hanging out and being with the boys and just seeing how everyone's doing and seeing, the performance on the field. I mean, it was cool to see this weekend. Everybody seemed to kind of ball out, and it was a nice return to play for us.
Well, obviously, you re-energized the ball club, your presence, and helping them get 2 of 3 down in Texas. But going through this, the second grueling 18-month rehab with the elbow in 2 years, I guess if there's a silver lining, you've been through it before, so you know what it takes.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of know what is pain, what is going through scar tissue. I think this last one, I mean, I had a lot of setbacks from the beginning of it. And so just knowing kind of when to stop, when to keep going, and just trying to listen to the body a little bit more. At least I've been through it, like you said, and it's fresh too. It didn't last very long. So it hasn't been that long ago since I just went through this again. It feels like this brace has been permanently connected to my arm for a while now, unfortunately.
Have you been able to give some advice to Bradish and Wells and other guys around the league? Have they reached out to you back and forth? I mean, I know it's a big brotherhood, but have you been able to give some advice? Because again, this is, especially going anything the first time, it truly can be demoralizing.
Yeah, it was not funny, but a little bit funny that we were all at TMI at the same time, which is Meister's place down in Texas where he does all the surgeries. And so we were all just in there with our robo arms, just like, hanging out and just and rehab. Unfortunately, Bradish had to do the leg, and they usually take the wrist, right? And I don't have the one in the wrist, unfortunately. So I had to do my right leg the first time and then the left leg this time. And that is by far the worst part of, at least in the beginning.
People don't know that's double rehab. You had surgery in your elbow and surgery in your hamstring.
I know.
So that is a double rehab.
I got 4 surgeries. Yeah, 4 surgeries. And so that is by far, it feels like just getting out of bed feels like you got shot in the leg. I mean, it's awful. And so I kind of had to prepare Bradish for that and doing that. And then like showering is a difficulty that people don't really think about. Like you can't get the scar wet. So you have to like cover your arm with a trash bag and wrap and saran wrap it. And then you also have to saran wrap the leg. And it's just an absolute pain, but you get used to it, especially 2 times around. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of like a brotherhood. I mean, especially down at TMI, Meister's place. I've been going down there for a while now. I know those guys really well. And there's been so many guys through that have had surgery. I know right now there's Brooks Raley's down there and a few other guys throughout the league. And so it's just, it's kind of, unfortunately, a lot of guys filter in. And so you get to talk to them about kind of their rehab process and how it happened and try to figure it out. I don't know if anybody could really figure it out, how to prevent it. But I know people are trying.
Well, I know the experts claim that your scheduled return won't be until late 2025, potentially early 2026. Do you have a personal timetable?
I'd like to make it back next year for sure. We'll see, but I would ideally love to make it back next year and try to pitch in September, pitch in the playoffs somewhere. But yeah, it should be interesting.
So you've done this timeline before. For those that don't know, and I did it, for our listeners who they have young kids who go through TJ, what is the actual timeline? You say 18 months or 14 months, whatever number. Does that mean actually in major league action?
So no, that's like back into games, I think, is at that, because they say 14 to 16, so it's kind of like that. There's quite a big gap right there. So usually that means back into action, and then as a starting pitcher, you have to build up even more than the relievers. So it's back into action, and then at that point, after a month of rehab, normally especially for a starter, then you're back. So you have to kind of tack on a month after that of rehab.
Okay, so like say now a guy like Bautista, he had his surgery December, I believe. His timeline now, obviously he's not pitching this year. But his timeline, so like what in his progression now, it's about to be August shortly. What's his program that would you think? Is he at 120 just playing catch lightly? I know he's not up the mound.
Yeah, I know he's playing catch. I haven't seen him honestly in a while now, but I know he's playing catch because everybody's talking about how good he looks and how hard he's throwing, and he's just started playing catch, and it's just so easy for him to throw hard. He's incredible. But yeah, just. That's all I know for him right now. But yeah, like you said, like it's going to take him a short amount of time as far as the rehab process goes because he's a reliever. He just needs to get 1 inning under his belt and he's ready to go. So maybe a few of those and be ready to go.
before the injury went down, you had recorded your first home win since April of 2021. Things seemed to be on the right track, obviously. You had even remarked how the crowd was so different in between wins because it had been such a long gap. I mean, it was, and then things went sour, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know it. But yeah, it's been cool to see how Camden Yards has transformed back into when AJ was playing back in those days, and it's been cool because I saw it, 19 and through 21, it was, we were losing a lot, so it was tough to get people out, and so these last few years have been fun, the 22 through 24, and just to see all, Camden Yards and like that. That's honestly, there was a lot of motivation to get back and try to pitch in front of that crowd because that was pretty incredible.
Were you able to convey that to some of the younger guys in the clubhouse that never got to experience, or never experienced the 8,000 that you were accustomed to at times?
Yeah, there's not many of us left. I'm realizing that. Yeah, it's like me, Hayes, Mullen, Santander, a few others. But yeah, it's I don't think we try to think about it. We've tried to move on and just like, all right, this is the new normal. Let's try to get used to this because yeah, that was some dark days back then.
More coming up with John Means on the Adam Jones Podcast. But first, a word from our sponsors. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Weinman Company. Everyone knows Greenmount Station in Hampstead, but did you know that at Greenmount Station you can bet 7 days a week just like you're at the track? With in-person teller windows and state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks. And with Greenmount Station's brand new Bet Park Sportsbook, you can bet on all other sports as well, wherever you are in Maryland. Spreads, money lines, live bets, props, parlays, and teasers. The Bet Parks Maryland mobile app is now live for Apple and Android devices, so you'll never miss your next big score. Just search for Bet Parks MD in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. And for a limited time, 21 and over Adam Jones Podcast listeners can get a $75 gift card to Greenmount Station simply for opening a new account with promo code GMS and a minimum $50 initial deposit. $75 gift card for new users in Maryland only. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan? Experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones Podcast.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I never get back.
Marylanders are adding a seventh-inning stretch to their day with fast play home run riches from the Maryland Lottery. You could win a progressive jackpot instantly and enter to win cash for Orioles home runs.
It's my new ball game.
Hey, it's savings season at Lido Pizza. 99-cent refreshing iced teas all summer, or $6 calzones every Tuesday. There are tons of new deals and rewards for everyone. Proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles, Baltimore Ravens, and the Adam Jones Podcast. Lido Pizza, a local legend since 1955. Exclusively at LidoPizza.com or on the Lido Pizza app. If you received ERC funds, listen closely. The IRS has 10 years to audit your claim, but you only have until March 22nd to get taxpayer relief, and the clock is ticking. If you're losing sleep over a possible audit, we'll review your claim. If you made a filing error, we'll set things right. If you're being audited, we'll provide expert representation. The IRS Voluntary Disclosure Program ends March 22nd. You deserve peace of mind. Visit SaveMyERC.com to schedule a consultation today. That's SaveMyERC.com.
I want to talk about the crowd since you mentioned them. And again, when I first came to Baltimore, I remember 7,800 screaming fans. You couldn't, it was like Bob Uecker sitting out there. Hey, everybody, let's go. What do you just when it comes to the fans? How much have they really energized the ball club? Again, like you said, a lot of these guys didn't see those dark years, but for the ones that came over here doing trades, they know about the Orioles in those dark years. How, if you can explain it to us, is like the fans that just energized us around the city when you go eat breakfast, just like they're with you no matter what now.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore is such a great fan base, and so I mean, during those days, those 19 through 21, I mean, when we were playing those in-division rivals, the Yankees, the Red Sox, I mean, they would just travel down and fill the whole stadium. So it's like we were playing Yankee Stadium South, Red Sox South. Like it was a little bit. You didn't really have that home field advantage. And now, when we're playing those games, it's all Orioles fans. They're going to have their Yankees fans, but they're finally drowned out. And it's cool to see like that, how much that impacts the game. I mean, when you have a big inning, when you strike out the side, you get one quick 1, 2, 3. Like you want to feel energized instead of it being mostly Yankee Red Sox fans, and it kind of deflates the whole moment. So it's big, and like you said, off the field too. I mean, seeing people around the city wearing Orioles stuff, coming up to you, even me, and I haven't even played that much over the last few years, and just saying how much they appreciate the players and how much they're rooting for us, and it's just it feels like it's rejuvenated the city too. It just feels like Baltimore is on the rise.
John, you've had a chance to watch Brandon Hyde evolve as a manager from when he first arrived in 2019 to where he is now. What have you noticed about the way he's changed with the way, as success has come, but he went through, like you talked about, some trials and tribulations?
Yeah, I'm glad he's able to, see the other side of it. I mean, he was in the depths with us all. And so it's cool to see how quickly he turned it around, and as a manager, and that 22 season when no one thought we had a chance, and ended up 5 games out of the playoffs, and then 23 and 24 are just being the top dogs of the East. But no, it's been cool to see him kind of evolve, and he's such a he keeps the vibes high in the clubhouse, and he does such a good job of of policing players and making sure everybody kind of stays on track, and so he just does a great job, and he fits that organization well.
I wanted to highlight the coaches since you mentioned Hyder, and the coaches aren't big name guys. What have they really meant to the guys in terms of preparation, getting them on the right track, keeping their heads level? Because again, they're not the biggest name coaches, but they're getting the best results out of the players. How have they been able to do that over the last few years?
You talk about the hitting and pitching and all those
all
coaches?
of them, everybody. I mean, it's a culmination. The bullpen coach, it's a group. Like everybody works together.
I think that, and exactly that. I think that's there's so much communication from top to bottom that we have a mold. It seems like in Baltimore that we look for from low A on up, and it's like these guys are groomed the same down there as they are in the big leagues, and there's not that big transition when you get there. And I think that that we got some really smart guys running this team, and obviously it starts with Mike, and he likes to hire smart guys on top of that. So it's with Fuller and Borgs and Ashe, and then you have from the pitching side Frenchie and Plaz, and it's been pretty seamless, and it seems like they not only are they smart, they have feel to it, as like it's not always the brains that can be able to figure out guys and keep them level. So they have the best of both worlds, and it seems to be working, and they seem, like I said, they seem to have a mold and to understand what they want to accomplish.
Well, you are, of course, the longest tenured Orioles starter. You're also a free agent, as you know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know after this season. And, Adam and I have discussed the future of John Means in Baltimore. It seems like we've established that the family likes it there. You like the fan base and all that. But I guess it has to be the right situation to keep it going. Yeah,
we'll see what happens. This is a first for me. It's gonna be a little weird. I drafted back in 2014, so I've been there a while, and obviously have a lot of love for everybody in the organization. So it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to some parts of it, and not looking forward to others for sure.
Well, Jerry's a Debbie down here, but I want to talk about something positive, and it's Corbin Burns. Obviously, we know his track record. We know he's got a Cy Young under his belt. But he was in Milwaukee. He's very distant from Baltimore. People don't know him as any way. Can you give us a little bit about knowledge about Corbin Burns, what he's meant to the pitching staff and the philosophy of guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's so talented. His stuff's off the charts. He goes out there every 5 days and does what he does, and you guys see it. I mean, an insane amount of quality starts, and it's just he does it every single start. So and when that happens, when you have a guy like that, you want to keep up with him, right? Like you don't want to be the guy to ruin it. You don't want him to be the one carrying the team. So the Grayson Rodriguez, the Dean Kramer, all those starters that come up, they're like, okay, well, I got to match that. I got to try to keep up with Corbin, and just seeing his preparation throughout the week, it's just he's so consistent, and it shows on the field. He does the same routine. He's basically got everything dialed in. I mean, he's been doing it so long. I think he has like 700 innings or something. So it's been cool to see him and be consistent off the field, and then it shows on the field, which is what you want to see.
I have to follow with Grayson. How awesome has it been to see his maturation? Obviously, his stuff plays as good as anybody in the entire league, but stuff is not always going to get you the reward in the big leagues. You've seen him get sent down. Now when he got back, he's been one of the top pitchers in the game. I think an all-star snub. How have you seen his maturation process over the last 18 months?
Yeah, obviously he's a high school kid, young kid. So coming up, it's always going to be hard. It's going to be tough those first few starts. And so he came up, struggled, went back down, got back to his roots, came up, and then has been doing what he's doing. And so I think that kind of shows you how mature he is. He didn't really, he had that rough, start, and then to be able to come back and say, look, this is who I am. I know I'm good enough. I'm going to go out there and pitch like a premier major league starting pitcher, and he's been doing that ever since, and it's been cool to see.
Isn't it amazing how things can change so rapidly? Because when you had come back and you were going and everyone else was going, there was talk of a 6-man rotation. Now there's talk of trying to have to possibly trade someone to acquire a pitcher with the arm injuries that we've already outlined. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I know
things change.
I know it. That's the tough part about this game, especially with pitching. I mean, so many injuries. You got to make sure to have depth, because of how much can go wrong.
Yeah, it does seem like though that they're talking about acquiring a pitcher out there, another frontline starter with you down, with Wells down, with Bradish down. Seems like that's the missing thing. But the offense, I mean, I know they went through a little quiet period. They started the second half out with a bang. It just seems like there's plenty of talent up and down the lineup. And I mean, when you're out there pitching, it must be a lot of fun to pitch with those guys backing you up.
It's so much fun. I mean, I look forward to it every spring training, starting with like 22, getting back and seeing these guys start to hit again. I mean, it's been so fun, and like just the approaches. It's like no, they don't. Even with the time off, they go to spring training and they're just absolutely crushing baseballs, and it's fun to see. And then obviously throughout the season, just the consistency of it. I mean, Adley just gets so consistent every time out. Gunnar, seeing Westberg, being an all-star and deservedly so, and all these guys. Santander, I mean, hitting 3 homers this weekend? Are you kidding me? I mean, it's these guys are insane, and obviously the coaches are a lot of it, but these guys are also putting in so much work, and it's been fun to see. And it's so easy, and the defense too. I mean, to play with those guys behind you the pitch is here you go, try and hit it, especially with the wall and left. Just try and hit it. Somebody will run it down out in left field.
I got one, and this is an off the wall question because you're a KC boy. Mm-hmm. And we know what happened. Obviously, Jerry's big backgrounds in football also. Your boys came to Baltimore and let the smack it down on the Ravens.
Oh, wow.
Now that you're AFC guy, you're Kansas City. Were you at the game, or were you wearing a Mahomes jersey?
I was not at the game because I was wearing a jersey. And I was like, do I want to go? And because they're like, I think we had all the guys on the field. I'm like, am I going to be the one guy and wearing a Chiefs jersey out there on the field? And I would have got booed. And it's fine, more respect to him. But I mean, my parents had season tickets for 25 years. The Chiefs game, like die hard. Like our inside of our house was painted red. Like we had red car. Like we were diehard Chiefs fans, and that was when they were terrible. And so to finally have them, be as good as they've been the last 10 years, actually, it's been fun to watch. It's been fun to watch. I know I haven't even been to a game though. I went to the Raiders game last year, in Las Vegas. That was cool. But I hadn't been to Arrowhead since we had season tickets back in the day.
So crazy small story. When I was 2008 or 9 or something like that, they were playing the Colts. And I was a Peyton Manning's fan. Love Peyton Manning, big head self since he was at Tennessee. So I've loved this guy for a long time. They have a statue of Johnny Unitas outside of the stadium of M&T Bank. He's in a Colts jersey. There's a statue of the guy. So me just being like, I like the Colts. I can tie the two into one. I wore a Unitas jersey. The Ravens PR staff came down and said, take off this or get off the field. So I just left the field. And I was like, I'm in the United jersey. If this isn't the most homage again, I'm being a prick. They're playing the Colts. I could have did it next week when they're playing the Steelers. It would have been way better. But, I understand, and I got booed, and people were mad. But we weren't good, so nobody really knew who I was yet. You get booed, and Twitter was not around then. So, yeah, it'll be a lot more viral than mine.
Yeah, I would have wore it with pride. I mean, if they were in my case too, I would hope that they're such diehard Ravens fans that they would, they would be wearing it too. I think it shows them more respect. We have some, I'm not going to name names, but we got some, guys wearing Ravens jerseys that might cheer for another team. So I know, just saying,
Okay.
There's some guys.
You don't have to name names. Just give us numbers. Wow.
I stay true to my teams.
Yeah, that would have been a bad look wearing a Mahomes jersey at the AFC Championship, especially the way they.
No, I had my lucky spot that I couldn't leave right over there. I had my lucky spot. That was
it worked.
That was why they won for sure.
Part of the luck not to hand off the ball for the Ravens. Well, we're not going to get into that.
It was a surprising game plan.
We've had Harbaugh and we've gone through all that. Last thing I got for you, because we're going to talk about this coming up on the podcast, is what is it about 100 pitches these days where it seems like your arm's going to fall off if you go over that threshold? What is it with the magic number of 100? And here's why I have issue with it, fellas, is I watch you guys warm up in between innings and in the bullpen. No one keeps track of those pitches. I mean, that's 30 or 40 more pitches added on there. And I know you're not throwing as hard as you do during a game, but you are throwing.
Yeah, the 100 mark, for me, it's the high intensity. If I'm throwing like 30 pitches one inning, then those pitches probably count as like 40 pitches. And so it's more the high, like the high stress pitches that I care about. So if I'm cruising, it doesn't matter. It's, if I'm going 10, 15 pitches an inning, and let me go in the eighth with 120 pitches. But if it's like 5 innings, 100 pitches, that 100 pitch mark is going to probably take me out. For me, it's the stress pitches more than anything. But, I mean, I get it. It's just, with all the injuries, they got to point to something. They got to try and figure it out some way. And so I think that's the easy, throwing too many pitches. But back in the day, Jim Palmer was throwing 250 innings, it seems like, a year or so. I don't have the answer for you. Obviously, I don't have the answer for you, but I wish I knew.
Yeah, that's not the reason. That's the answer. Hey, John, we appreciate you taking the time. We've been trying to track you down for a while this season, and best of luck with the recovery. We're privileged to have you on.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on.
More to come on the Adam Jones podcast after these messages. Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. At Jack Daniels, they charcoal mellow every drop, only using water from Cave Spring Hollow in Tennessee. When you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks 2022. Jack Daniels, all rights reserved. The Adam Jones podcast welcomes Relief Shop. Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu, located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
Hey Baltimore, Monument City Brewing has been crafting the best beer in Maryland since 2014. Located at 1 North Haven Street in Baltimore, you've seen us at the ballpark. Now drop by our tasting room. Open Thursday through Sunday with events, music, and great food trucks. And this year we are honored to collaborate with Adam Jones and the Adam Jones Podcast with Simply AJ Ballpark IPA, available throughout the baseball season. It's going to be a great year, Baltimore. Visit us online at monumentcitybrewing.com or follow us on Instagram at Monument City Brewing.
Hey, you work hard, I work hard, and we all like to save money. That's why we need the Royal Farms ROFO Rewards app to get more value for our hard-earned money. With the app, you earn royalty points on every purchase, can place mobile orders for quick pickup, plus a discount at the gas pump with ROFO Pay. We all like to save money, and with the ROFO Rewards app, we do.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Keeping Baltimore safe is an incredibly important job, and protecting those who keep us safe is equally important. The Baltimore Police Department leads the nation in supporting its officers with innovative wellness programs, free fitness classes, counseling services, citywide discounts, and more. Right now, the BPD is hiring. Join now and receive a $10,000 signing bonus upon swearing in. Build a meaningful career in public safety with the BPD and get the support you need to serve Baltimore effectively. Apply now at bpdrecruit.org. It's the perfect time to check out a spacious and reliable new Toyota SUV, like a RAV4, with available all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo space. You'll go from errands to adventures in no time. Plus, available features like wireless charging will keep you connected. Or check out a Highlander with seating for up to 8. It's a hub for family adventure. Your Toyota dealer is getting new vehicles in stock regularly, so don't wait. Find deals on a RAV4 or Highlander at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And now back to the Adam Jones Podcast.
Now it's time for our For the Birds portion here on the Adam Jones Podcast. It's sponsored by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. When you play the Maryland Lottery, set limits, never play when you're stressed, and know your odds of winning. To learn more, visit mdlottery.com/play responsibly. Must be 18 years or older to play. Adam, you know, we see managers getting ejected all the time for all sorts of reasons. Obviously, you argue balls and strikes, you're gone immediately. A lot of times, the theory is the managers are doing it to inspire the ball club, to get the juices going, to wake the team up. Have you witnessed that? Has that been the case in your experience?
Well, of course. I think it's one of two things, though. Again, if the calls are being egregious, the manager is probably not going to be happy about it. You have to protect your guys in those situations. And it's the flip side is when you're in a 6-7 game skid and, you know, nobody's fighting for something or something needs to happen. And usually the manager, obviously the dispensable one, you know, players, you don't want to get rid of them during a game. The manager, who still manages from underneath, we talked about that, can get out there, show some emotion, throw his hat, get the crowd going. Little small things like that can get you going. And it shows that, look at, hey, if the manager's out there giving this much care, I got to give a little bit more. And again, we care 110%, but why not give 120? It's those things where you just care a little bit more. So, no, I 100% believe it can energize the team and the crowd and the fan base.
Does the manager always go back to the office? I know Earl Weaver used to hang out in the runway back in the day. I mean, have you ever visited the manager once they've been ejected, gone back and, hey, Skip, great job out there. We got your back.
Well, I mean, obviously they're underneath the tunnel and the cameras can't go under there. So it's very easy for them to just do business under there. Obviously, the manager is the very first one to give you a high five. Usually it's the manager, the last one on the field to give you a handshake. Now, when the manager gets tough, you know, when Buck got tossed, he's the first one there to shake your hand if you're able to pull off the win. So it's a team effort. And with the manager being the facilitator and leader of the pack, you know, sometimes he has to sacrifice himself to energize the ball club. And again, it could be a borderline call that didn't go your way, but if you're losing 6 or 7 in a row and just things are just going downhill, you see it. Something needs to happen. And usually an ejection or something like that happens. You see it with the Yankees. Aaron Boone, he's not afraid to say anything, and neither is the fan back there that got him tossed one time.
How odd would it be for the manager to shower and go home during the game after being ejected?
I mean, impossible, I would say, because just the manager is generally one of the latest guys to leave the ballpark. they always have that job's not done mentality. As a player, I get to worry about myself, my position, my 4 or 5 at bats. The coach has to worry about every at bat, every out, every pitch. So, the thought process, and I can only really go off Buck because that was the guy I had the longest tenure with. And, these guys take it personal. They don't want to lose. They take it personal. And, they go out there every single day and give it all, the coaches, and they take it personal because, again, it goes on their record too. The players don't have records. Like you don't know my baseball record. You know my batting average and numbers, but you don't know my record. The manager, his thing is his numbers is based on record. So they have a prideful thing in that also. Same if we want to put up numbers, they want to put up numbers also. So it's a collective effort. That's why I like Buck so much because he said, look, I'm here to win. All this other stuff, I don't care about none of this other stuff. Win. And if we win, everything else will fall into place. Your numbers will be good. We'll have multiple all-stars. You do that. You see that. When the Orioles weren't winning, they had one all-star because you get represented. You have to get represented. But when the team is good and they win, you get 3, 4, 5, 6 all-stars. So you win, good things always happen.
And speaking of numbers, and we talked about it with John Means, this pitch count thing, I wanted to get your feedback on that because as I was saying to you guys, there's a lot of pitches that are thrown in between innings, warming up and all that. They don't go towards the 100 where they feel like your arm's going to fall off if you surpass that.
Right. And he said a big thing. It's about stress pitches. I mean, if you go out there and you're cruising, you got 80 through 6, and they've been pretty cool innings. I think you can continue. I think everybody's biggest gripe is when you see a guy who has 92 pitches through 7. You're like, okay, keep him out there. Like he should be going 110. And it's part of the game now. You don't see big guys like that no more. Burns is a 100 pitch guy. Scherzer, I don't think anymore. I think Father Time, I think it's really starting to catch up to him. Verlander was, DeGrom, barring the injuries. There's only Wheeler consistently is throwing 100 pitches. I mean, obviously Garrett Cole. There's only a few of guys that are like that. And I think to me, I think in today's society, it's a mentality. I grew up coming with Felix Hernandez, and he's throwing 120. 100, what? 120. Okay. Young Verlander, 120. Greinke, 120. And that was a want. These guys want to go 250 innings. Kershaw, 250 innings. Now the max somebody's going to go is 210. That's going to be the max. And that's a hell of an accomplishment. That means you're making all your starts. But there's no way that, how did Kershaw pitch 260 something innings with the same 34 starts as everybody else? Something's different. That's because he's throwing more pitches. He's throwing more innings. He's throwing more innings, obviously, but he's still throwing more pitches. That's
what I liked about Dusty Baker. Dusty used to leave his guys in. He didn't care about 100 pitches. That's what I loved about Dusty.
It's all about how you look. Again, you can look bad in 50 pitches, but if you look good in 100, sometimes you would take, and this is a question that Brandon Hyde has to go through all the time. Corbin Burns is in the game. It's bottom 7, top 7. He's at 93 pitches. Maybe a guy on first. It's a 3-1 game. Bullpen is up. What do you do in that situation? Do you trust Corbin Burns at 93 plus pitches more than you trust the bridge? Sometimes, hell yeah, I do. Sometimes if it's Cano and he's been dealing, well, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the chess match that it comes with baseball. Is you can just say, "Oh, leave Burns in, leave him in." Like this, he's gonna get. But like the other night when he's in Texas, he was fighting, scratching Connie at 4 walks, the most he's had, with the Orioles. And I watched the game; they were all very intelligent walks. None of them were just like bad walks. And he comes off, and then the Orioles score 4, get him out the game. He's at 90-some pitches, get him out. Would he have went back out there if the score remained 5-1? I believe so. Since you take the score 8-1, there's no need for him to be out there anymore, and you can rest him.
Yep, makes sense. All right, let's get in the rocket ship and travel beyond Baltimore. This is our national and sometimes international perspective, brought to you by our good friends over at Relief Medical Marijuana Dispensary. We've been by there where they go above and beyond to help us, the patient. The 2024 Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony went down this past Sunday up in Cooperstown. You were just there a few months ago. The class included Adrian Beltre, Todd Helton, Joe Mauer, and Jim Leland. Your thoughts on this most recent class? Because these are guys that either manage against you in the case of Leland, or you played with, well, not with, but against all these guys, Beltre, Helton, and Mauer.
Yeah. So I'll start with the lower, with not say lower, with the older guys, with Helton is Helton tore up on my Padres, being from San Diego, him being the Rockies, him, Dante Bichette, Vinny Castilla, Ellis Burks, Anders Galarraga. They just tore me. Walt Weiss. They tore me to my Padres. So that being a baseball fan and seeing what he really did away from the ballpark, also away from Coors Field, tremendous. I'm glad he's a Hall of Famer. It's well deserved. Joe Mauer obviously played against him so many times. Obviously in Minnesota, he was one of the greatest competitors. He was one of the toughest guys to defend because he was a big, strong guy that filleted the ball. But if you miss in, he pulled it. So he was one of the real difficult guys to defend. But I mean, again, one of our generational best hitters and best players and best catchers. 3 Gold Gloves, 3 batting titles. Like that's unprecedented. Beltre. I'm gonna go with Leland. He was my manager for WBC, and obviously getting to know in 2017, knowing the history of Jim Leland, knowing that he stood for nothing. Get a cigarette with his vodka tonic over there.
Love that heater.
And getting to be around him for those 3 weeks during the WBC, getting to see that old school, and that was his swan song of the game, getting to go out with the gold, him and all the coaching staff. It was amazing to see him get to go into the Hall of Fame. I reached out to him, and it was just the joy in his voice, just like amazing. And that's what you want. He is a baseball person. And then Beltre. I grew up with Beltre. When Beltre came over to Seattle in 2005, that was my second spring training with the Mariners. I was a shortstop, so I was taking ground balls with Beltre, the infielders, Wilkie Reese, and Mitchie Gill at the time. Boom. So I got to really know Beltre. And then as I progressed my career, I got over to Baltimore. He's in Boston, got together even more. Now he's in Texas. We got together even more. And then the kicker was we got to hang out a lot more on the Nike trip. I got to really see Beltre away from baseball, away from the uniform, and just, see him in a relaxed state, hanging out at the pool, relaxing, just talking to him.
You ever talk about the rubbing of the head and all that? Why that?
He hates that. He hates that. He just doesn't like it. And if you see it on this 3,000 hit, I came in and I rubbed his head. He hit me in the privates. So he doesn't like it. But no, I just respect the hell out of him, the way he carries himself. When you know him, he's like, that's a professional right there. He is an ultimate professional. Dresses the part, looks the part, walks and talks the part, and he's a Hall of Famer for a reason.
Well, next year, 2 of your contemporaries are locked. That would be CC Sabathia and Ichiro.
Yeah. Yes. And I can't wait to celebrate those two. I think that, so I got to be in Cooperstown next summer to celebrate those two. I see my adversary with CC. We faced each other the most in each other's careers. And with Ichiro, he was I made my major league debut, and he said, "Hey, don't run into me." And so it's just all these things. And you got icons. This guy, a Japanese icon that I got to play with. I got to go to his country and see him in his country. So it's full circle thing with baseball. And it's just like if you play this game, and no matter what level you fully reach, you're blessed to do some really cool things. I know some A-ball guys that have some wild, cool stories. And like that's what this game is about. It's about making amazing memories. And hey, I can say that I played against and with about 7 to 10 Hall of Famers. That's, to me,
good. It's good company. All right, we'll put a bow and tie on things with Socially Speaking. This is where we answer a X post, anything on social media, and you earn a chance to win a $50 gift card from our proud partner and the proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles, official pizza of the Orioles and the Adam Jones podcast. That would be Lido Pizza. You can find us on social media at Adam Jones Pod, at Adam Jones Pod. We've been talking about the trade deadline last few episodes, and we received this via X from at Get Moss 1305. I like that. At Get Moss 1305. And this revolves around Danielle Allen-Tuck, the Banner's baseball beat reporter who was with us last episode. And this person thought that Danielle nailed the snippet, and we might see 2 players go that are already here in Heston Kjerstad or Kyle Stowers, or maybe even Colton Cowser mixed in with a Norby in Norfolk, but getting someone with 1 year of control. And this person thinks that Stowers or Cowser is part of a trade no matter what, though. Now, I would be shocked not to see one of those guys go, but both of them go. And I think I've said that Kjerstad is a guy I would not let go of personally.
I mean, this is the tough the tough part of the job is who do you let go? Who do you keep? This who do you package? I can only go on experience. The Orioles tried to trade for me. There was a couple other guys that they wanted that the Mariners weren't giving up. I was one of them. Repackage it. Come back next week. Repackage it. I'm added in this deal. Well, they want another guy. Repackage it. Add Chris Tillman into it now. You get the young kid. Then add 2 young guys on the back. So it's there's always going to be hypotheticals, and it's just tough because, again, these are guys that came up with your system, came up with your organization, and I just think with how social media is, rumors start really quickly. I didn't know I was getting traded. I was in Venezuela. I didn't know I could have been an American and still wouldn't have known I was getting traded, just because of the access to media and to information. Now it's all speculation. Like, some people find out they either traded or they got a contract extension on social media. So I would obviously hate for any of those guys to go. But at the same time, I've told these guys, and I was told young, you're playing for everybody. Until they give you a contract extension, they say we love you and you ain't going nowhere. You're playing for everybody. Everybody is tradable. They always say the untouchables. This guy's untouchable. This guy's never going to be traded. Yeah, right. It's a business, and if the business mold fits you, it works. Like if you're able to get a Mason Miller, you get him. And now a team like the A's would probably give up a Mason Miller, who's a 1-inning guy. I know he was a college starter, but he's the 1-inning closer. He's nasty too. But I would give up him for 3 everyday position players. Like I can get, you're talking about 50, 60 innings, maybe 70 versus 1,500 at bats. Those are the things that you got to think about. But again, Miller is a closer. Your problem is not a closer. Your problem is you're the starting pitcher. So do you get to reach Scooble, who's going to cost you a lot too?
Yeah.
Like these are the general manager. These are the tough ones that Elias and company have to go through. And again, they wouldn't be in these positions if they couldn't make these deals. And
we know it's not going to be a 1-for-1.
No. And they're calculated. You got to be calculated with these decisions. So again, they took a while to do the burns, but I believe, as a baseball fan and just watching what's going on, I believe they're going to make a move. But we're all just speculating on who, when, what, why, who, how, and I think it's going to be great once we see the move. And I know just how Elias and the company has made moves. It's going to be a good one that benefits the team, not just now, but benefits the team later.
All right, we're getting closer and closer. Thanks again to our loyal, dedicated sponsors. We always appreciate them.
The Adam Jones Podcast is brought to you by our friends at the Weinman Company. Everyone knows Greenmount Station in Hampstead, but did you know that at Greenmount Station you can bet 7 days a week just like you're at the track? With in-person teller windows and state-of-the-art touchscreen kiosks. And with Greenmount Station's brand new Bet Park Sportsbook, you can bet on all other sports as well, wherever you are in Maryland. Spreads, money lines, live bets, props, parlays, and teasers. The Bet Parks Maryland mobile app is now live for Apple and Android devices, so you'll never miss your next big score. Just search for BetParks MD in the Apple App Store or on Google Play. And for a limited time, 21 and over Adam Jones podcast listeners can get a $75 gift card to Greenmount Station simply for opening a new account with promo code GMS and a minimum $50 initial deposit. $75 gift card for new users in Maryland only. 21 and over only. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. The Adam Jones podcast is brought to you by Jimmy's Famous Seafood, Charm City's favorite crab cake destination. Local sports fan? Experience the ultimate pregame party at the tailgate. Cheer on the Ravens with iconic live performances, an open bar, and mouth-watering eats. Can't make it? No worries. Bring the same food that caught the attention of the Food Network right to your doorstep. Shipping East Coast recipes nationwide. Jimmy's Famous Seafood is the official sponsor of the guests appearing on the Adam Jones podcast.
Take me out to the ball game.
Take me out with the crowd.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
I don't care if I never get back.
Marylanders are adding a 7th-inning stretch to their day with fast play home run riches from the Maryland Lottery. You could win a progressive jackpot instantly and enter to win cash for Orioles home runs.
It's my new ball game.
Hey, it's savings season at Lido Pizza. 99-cent refreshing iced teas all summer, or $6 calzones every Tuesday. There are tons of new deals and rewards for everyone. Proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles, Baltimore Ravens, and the Adam Jones Podcast. Lido Pizza, a local legend since 1955. Exclusively at lidopizza.com or on the Lido Pizza app. If you received ERC funds, listen closely. The IRS has 10 years to audit your claim, but you only have until March 22nd to get taxpayer relief, and the clock is ticking. If you're losing sleep over a possible audit, we'll review your claim. If you made a filing error, we'll set things right. If you're being audited, we'll provide expert representation. The IRS Voluntary Disclosure Program ends March 22nd. You deserve peace of mind. Visit SaveMyERC.com to schedule a consultation today. That's SaveMyERC.com. Effective Solutions, your one-stop shop for commercial contracting. Everything from excavation and site development to emergency remediation and restoration. Effective Solutions specializes in many forms of commercial and mixed-use construction. With a dedicated staff and a commitment to quality, Effective Solutions delivers every time. There are a lot of ways to make whiskey, but there's only one way to make Jack Daniels. At Jack Daniels, they charcoal mellow every drop, only using water from Cave Spring Hollow in Tennessee. When you make your own label, you make everything else yours too. But we don't need to tell you that, do we? Make it count. Jack Daniels. Please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniels and Old No. 7 are registered trademarks 2022. Jack Daniels, all rights reserved. The Adam Jones Podcast welcomes Relief Shop. Shop Maryland's largest adult use and medical cannabis menu, located at 1114 Cathedral Street in Baltimore, with medical delivery available throughout Maryland 7 days a week, only at Relief Shop.
Your fun awaits at Hollywood Casino Perryville. Feed the whole crew with something for everyone, from cheesesteaks to crab cake sandwiches. Plus, ask how you can get a $15 dining credit. Get in on the gaming action with the hottest slots and your favorite table games like blackjack, roulette, and poker. Free live shows every Friday and Saturday. Come experience non-stop fun and excitement only at Hollywood Casino Perryville.
Hey Baltimore, Monument City Brewing has been crafting the best beer in Maryland since 2014. Located at 1 North Haven Street in Baltimore, you've seen us at the ballpark. Now drop by our tasting room. Open Thursday through Sunday with events, music, and great food trucks. And this year we are honored to collaborate with Adam Jones and the Adam Jones Podcast with Simply AJ Ballpark IPA, available throughout the baseball season. It's going to be a great year, Baltimore. Visit us online at monumentcitybrewing.com or follow us on Instagram at Monument City Brewing.
Hey, you work hard, I work hard, and we all like to save money. That's why we need the Royal Farms ROFO Rewards app to get more value for our hard-earned money. With the app, you earn royalty points on every purchase, can place mobile orders for quick pickup, plus a discount at the gas pump with ROFO Pay. We all like to save money, and with the ROFO Rewards app, we do.
Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Listeners, tell your friends. The Baltimore Police Department is hiring the next generation of officers. Starting salary is over $61,000. Plus, you'll receive an additional $10,000 signing bonus upon swearing in. Apply today to start your career in public safety. This is a great opportunity to serve the city you love and start a career that makes a difference in your community. Apply now at bpdrecruit.org. It's the perfect time to check out a spacious and reliable new Toyota SUV, like a RAV4, with available all-wheel drive and plenty of cargo space. You'll go from errands to adventures in no time. Plus, available features like wireless charging will keep you connected. Or check out a Highlander with seating for up to 8. It's a hub for family adventure. Your Toyota dealer is getting new vehicles in stock regularly, so don't wait. Find deals on a RAV4 or Highlander at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Thanks to senior executive producer Chip Franklin for putting this latest episode together. Chip's like a bottle of horseradish. He's bitter until the very end. Go out and subscribe to the Baltimore Banner. Until next time, be real, be kind, and make sure to be back for next week's episode 82 of the Adam Jones Podcast.